to talk about the value chain movement. All right. And my question for everybody is, with these value chain movements that Trump is making in 2024 going into 2025, are you going to be eating good? Mark Zuckerberg out here trying to eat good. I think he's in competition with Elon Musk to be Trump's #1 tech yes man, but we'll see. Mark Zuckerberg dines with Trump at Mar-a-Lago after pushing for a meeting to discuss new administration. Grateful for the invitation. Oh, I bet he is. I bet he is. So we're going to take a look at this little snippet right here and see what's popping.
Stephen, real quick, Politico is reporting that Mark Zuckerberg was at Mar-a-Lago today.
Yes, that's correct. And Mark Zuckerberg has been very, very clear about his desire to be a supporter of and a participant in this change that we're seeing all around America, all around the world, with this reform movement that Donald Trump is leading. Mark Zuckerberg, like so many business leaders, understand that President Trump is an agent of change, an agent of prosperity.
Right.
And so business leaders, CEOs everywhere, they want to be an element, a supporter, a booster.
So now let me ask you guys this question, right? With the cooperation of Mark Zuckerberg with Trump, how do you all think that that's going to help Meta / Facebook's stock price? And is that something that people might possibly be wanting to look into? Let me know what you think. And by the way, I'm recording this video on 12/1/2024. Happy December to everybody. My question for everybody is, what is your XRP Ripple wallet looking like today? Let me know.
Of making our economy prosperous, delivering for American workers, and making sure that America is the most powerful, wealthiest, freest nation on the face of the earth. So we'll see what comes of that. And Mark, obviously, he has his own interests, and he has his own company, and he has his own agenda, but he's made clear that he wants to support the national renewal of America under President Trump's leadership.
Good. It's good for the president. He turned the page with some talk show hosts on another channel, and he might be maybe getting over the fact that Zuckerbucks really impacted the 2020 election in the battleground areas. So we'll see what happens. Stephen, thanks for confirming that. I appreciate it. I'll talk to you again soon, and congratulations on the new job.
Thanks, Brian. We'll be talking a lot.
Right.
Thank you.
So that's pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. So what are people going to do with that is the question. I'll tell you exactly what I'm going to do with that. You guys probably already know what I'm going to do with that. Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg dined with Donald Trump at Mar-a-Lago after reportedly requesting meeting with the president-elect to discuss the quote-unquote incoming administration on Wednesday. It's an important time for the future of American innovation. Mark was grateful for the invitation to join President Trump for dinner and the opportunity to meet with members of his team about the incoming administration, a Meta spokesperson said in a statement provided to the Post. The Trump-Vance transition team did not immediately respond to the Post's request for comment. Stephen Miller, the incoming White House Deputy Chief of Staff for Policy, confirmed that Zuckerberg met with the president-elect during an appearance on Fox News' The Ingram Angle. All right. Mark Zuckerberg has been very clear about his desire to be a supporter of and a partnership in this change that we're seeing all around America, all around the world, with this reform movement that Donald Trump is leading, Miller said. Mark Zuckerberg, like so many business leaders, understand that President Trump is an agent of change and an agent of prosperity, he added. Now, this is interesting, right? This is business terminology, right? True business terminology. So shout out to the people watching. I'm going to ask you guys, what is a change, quote unquote, agent? If you know what a change agent is, let me know. And would you all agree or disagree that Donald Trump fits that definition? And so business leaders, CEOs everywhere, they want to be an element, a supporter, a booster of making our economy prosperous, delivering for American workers, and making sure that America is the most powerful, wealthiest, freest nation on the face of the earth. Okay. Miller noted that Zuckerberg, who is 40, has his own interests and he has his own company and he has his own agenda, but has made clear that he wants to support the national renewal of America under President Trump's leadership. The Mar-a-Lago meeting was reportedly initiated by Zuckerberg, according to the New York Times. The president-elect and Facebook creator largely exchanged pleasantries during their meeting. And Zuckerberg congratulated Trump on his election day victory, the outlet reported. So this is interesting, right? We've got, so far, sit-down meetings with Zuckerberg, Justin Trudeau, and the president of Mexico. And, you know, none of the meetings have gone the way that, you know, MSNBC and CNN and these mainstream media apparatuses said that they will go. Very interesting. Noted. You know what I'm saying? Earlier this year, Trump described Facebook as a quote-unquote true enemy of the people, claiming that Zuckerberg's company cheated in the last election. And yet Zuckerberg wanted to go have dinner with this guy. So that might tell you something, right? The 45th president leveled the accusation in a March Truth Social post, which he argued that banning TikTok, a social media platform owned by the Chinese parent company, would benefit Zuckerberg. If you get rid of TikTok, Facebook and Zuckerschmuck will double their business, Trump wrote, referring to the Meta founder and CEO. I don't want Facebook, who cheated in the election, doing better. They are a true enemy of the people. Trump appeared to be referencing the $400 million plus Zuckerberg spent in the 2020 election cycle to help finance local elections. The so-called Zuckerbucks initiative was roundly criticized by Republicans as an attempt to influence the 2020 vote. The Meta CEO pledged in an August letter to the House Judiciary Committee that while his motives were quote-unquote nonpartisan, he wouldn't be making a similar contribution in 2024. And that's because he saw the writing on the wall. You know what I'm saying? In July, Meta rolled back restrictions on Trump's Facebook and Instagram accounts put in place after the January 6th of 2022 riot at the Capitol building. Trump, who has a combined total of nearly 54 million followers on both Facebook and Instagram, was suspended from the platforms the day after the riot. His account privileges were restored in February of 2023 after a 2-year ban, but some restrictions remain, which were lifted to bring him to parity with President Biden, who was still in the race at the time in the final months of the 2024 campaign. And I don't know if anybody has seen any of the updates about what's going on with Joe Biden, but Joe Biden just decided to do something that he said that he would not do. All right. He just did something that he said that he would not do. And we are probably going to talk about that in another video. All right. Now, shout out to Kid Gravity, because Kid Gravity has been really hammering on the BRICS issue. Right. And we actually had this conversation. In the Discord. And this conversation, I think, is an important one. It's about BRICS. Okay. And the issue going on with BRICS is that most of the people who voted for Trump voted as a result of culture issues. They didn't vote based on foreign monetary policy. Okay? This is one of the reasons why you have people running around and freaking out and being all weird and are not really understanding how the tariffs work. Right? A lot of people do not understand how the tariffs work. A lot of people do not understand what the initiatives of the BRICS nations are. Now, if you watch BLR Geopolitics and you're subscribed to the Newscast channel, which a bubble for at the end of this video will pop up for, and if you're not, I'd like everybody to click on it and subscribe, right? We talk about these geopolitical / international issues, all right? Trump has gone nuclear on these tariff threats. Trump threatens BRICS nations with 100% tariff. That is going to be extremely interesting, and I'm curious to see how that goes down. Now, my question for everybody is, how do you guys think it's going to go down? Trump also said there is no chance that the BRICS will replace the US dollar in international trade, and any country that tries should wave goodbye to America. All right. So you guys know what BRICS is doing. You guys know what BRICS is about. You know what they're trying to do. And Trump is saying, nah, it ain't happening. We'll see. This is going to be interesting. President-elect Donald Trump on Saturday demanded a group of developing countries commit to the use of the U.S. dollar as their reserve currency and threatened to impose a 100% tariff if they attempt to abandon it. All right. The idea that BRICS countries are trying to move away from the dollar while we stand by and watch it is over, Trump wrote on his social media platform, Truth Social, referring to the acronym for the original group of countries in the bloc, which are Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. The geopolitical alliance has since expanded to include Iran, Egypt, Ethiopia, and the United Arab Emirates. All right. This is going to be very entertaining. This is going to be very interesting and lots of opportunities to eat good or lots of opportunities to get hit blindsided by certain price hikes or investment depreciation. Depends on how well you pay attention. We require a commitment from these countries that they will neither create a new BRICS currency nor back any other currency to replace the mighty US dollar, or they will face 100% tariffs and should expect to say goodbye to selling into the wonderful US economy. Now, this is interesting. Now, they have some links in this article, all right? And this article will be posted in the Discord, right? But what's interesting about this is that one of the things that BRICS is talking about is actually coming up with a new currency that could be a substitute for countries that do not want to use the US dollar. This issue, if I'm not mistaken, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, did not come up at any of the debates. Wasn't something that people were going wild on Twitter about. Kid Gravity has been very consistent in calling that out. Shout out to him. Here's my question. Why do you guys think that this didn't come up? Why didn't this get discussed? That's another interesting discussion, right? Officials from the BRICS countries have discussed moving away from the US dollar in recent years, including at the 2024 BRICS summit last month. The concept gained steam in 2022 when the US imposed massive economic sanctions on Russia over its war in Ukraine. Trump also shared in his post that the countries can go find another sucker. There is no chance that BRICS will replace the US dollar in international trade, and any country that tries should wave goodbye to America. Goodbye. The statement comes as the president-elect steps up his tariff threats after he announced plans to impose a 25% tariff on Mexico and Canada and a 10% additional tariff on China over illegal migration and drug trafficking into the United States. All right. And if you guys are not up to date on what's going on with any of that stuff, I'd advise you guys to check out the channel called Undocumented, or also check out the playlists or the channel called The Undocumented Bros. All right. A spokesperson for the Trump transition team did not immediately respond to a request from Politico to clarify the total percentage of tariffs planned for China or other BRICS countries. Now, again, this is going to be extremely interesting on the geopolitical / international side. Now, we all know, right, when it comes to the US dollar, one of the major functions in the global economy that the US dollar has is that it is a reserve currency for oil and petroleum, right? Now, in regards to oil and petroleum, part of the Trump value chain that he seems like he's trying to do is Trump not only wants to dominate the global currency with the United States dollar, what he also wants to do is have energy dominance in the United States. Now, if we know that Trump is going for energy dominance here in the United States, there are going to be some companies that are getting a lot of assistance from the United States government. How many people think that it would not be a bad idea to keep track of those companies, monitor those companies, and check out dips in their stock price. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys think about that. All right. Trump's call for energy dominance is likely to run into real world limits. I'll tell you what, BRICS is one of those limits. BRICS is one of those issues that this will definitely run into, right? President-elect Donald Trump is set to create a national energy council that he says will establish American energy dominance around the world as he seeks to boost U.S. oil and gas drilling and move away from President Joe Biden's focus on climate change. Okay. The Energy Council is to be led by North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum. Trump's choice to head the Interior Department will be key in Trump's pledge to drill. All right. Now, who are the companies that are going to be drilling? Who are these companies that are going to be doing this? All right. And sell more oil and other energy sources to allies in Europe and around the world. The new council will be granted sweeping authority over federal agencies involved in energy permitting. All right, this is a gateway to money. Production, gateway to money. Generation, gateway to money. Distribution, gateway to money. Regulation, absolute gateway to money. Transportation, gateway to money. With a mandate to cut bureaucratic red tape, gateway to money. Enhance private sector investment, that's us. And focus on innovation instead of totally unnecessary regulation. Now, if these things are able to happen, if these things are able to occur, critically thinking, what will that do to the prices of stocks and investment tools in that sector of the economy? But Trump's energy wishes are likely to run into real world limits. For one, U.S. oil production under Biden is already at record levels. The federal government cannot force companies to drill for more oil, and production increases could lower prices and reduce profits. All right. A call for energy dominance, a term Trump also used in his first term as president, is an opportunity, not a requirement, for the oil industry to move forward on drilling projects under terms that are likely to be more favorable to the industry than those offered by Biden, said energy analyst Kevin Brook. All right. Whether Trump achieves energy dominance, however he defines it, comes down to decisions by private companies based on how they see supply-demand balances in the global marketplace, said Book. Managing partner at Clearview Energy Partners, a Washington research firm. We need to be reading articles that come from them. You know what I'm saying? Don't expect an immediate influx of new oil rigs dotting the national landscape, he said. Trump's bid to boost oil supplies and lower U.S. prices is complicated by his threat this week to impose 25% import tariffs on Canada and Mexico, two of the largest sources of U.S. oil imports. The U.S. oil industry warned the tariffs could raise prices and even harm national security. All right, I'm curious as to how they would affect national security, but okay. Canada and Mexico are our top energy trading partners, and maintaining the free flow of energy products across our border is critical for North American energy security and U.S. consumers, said Scott Lauerman, speaking for the American Petroleum Institute, the oil industry's top lobbying group. Definitely got to start scoping these folks out here. Now, let me ask you guys this question. This American Petroleum Institute, how much money do you all think that they might have possibly offered to the Trump campaign, or to any campaign for that matter? Let me know. American fuel and petrochemical manufacturers, which represents U.S. refineries, also opposes potential tariffs, saying in a statement that American refiners depend on crude oil from Canada and Mexico to produce the affordable, reliable fuels consumers count on every day. Energy lobbyist Scott Siegel said the idea of centering energy decisions at the White House follows an example set by Biden, who named a trio of White House advisors to lead on climate policy. Siegel, a partner at the law policy firm Bracewell, called Burgum a steady hand on the tiller with experience in fossil fuels and renewables. Okay. And unlike Biden's climate advisors, Gina McCarthy, John Podesta, and Ali Zaidi, Burgum will probably take his White House post as a Senate-confirmed cabinet member, Siegel said. Dustin Meyer, senior vice president of Policy, Economics, and Regulatory Affairs at the American Petroleum Institute, called the new Energy Council a good thing for the U.S. economy and trade. Conceptually, it makes a lot of sense to have as much coordination as possible, and I would not disagree with that. And this is one of the things that I'm constantly harping about when it comes to quote unquote organization. Okay. Still, market dynamics will always be the key for any potential increase in energy production, Meyer said. Jonathan Elkind, a senior research scholar at the Columbia University Center on Global Energy Policy, called energy dominance a deliberately vague concept, but said it's hard to see how Trump can push more oil into an already saturated market. Trump has promised, all right, so pay attention to the promises, because the promises are the quote-unquote alleged tangibles, right? Trump has promised to bring gasoline prices below $2 a gallon. So we got to watch all the gas prices for the next 4 years and make sure that they stay below $2 at their highest price, okay? But experts call that highly unlikely, since crude oil prices would need to drop dramatically to achieve that goal. Gas prices averaged $3.06 nationally as of Friday, down from $3.25 a year ago, according to AAA. All right. Now, who's responsible for those $3.25 gas prices, right? Elkind and other experts said they hope the new Energy Council will move beyond oil to focus on renewable energy such as wind, solar, geothermal power, as well as nuclear. None of those energy resources produces greenhouse gas emissions that contribute to climate change. Failure to focus on climate change as an existential threat to our planet is a huge concern and translates to a very significant loss of American property and American lives, Elkind, a former assistant energy secretary in the Obama administration, said. He cited federal statistics showing 24 weather disasters this year that caused more than $1 billion worth of damage. A total of 418 people were killed. Now, here's the thing. Who's to say that these weather issues were caused by the phenomenon of quote unquote global warming or climate change? We don't know from the information that they put in this article, right? Trump has downplayed risks from climate change and pledged to rescind unspent money in the Inflation Reduction Act, Biden's landmark climate and healthcare bill. He also said he will stop offshore wind development when he returns to the White House in January. That's interesting. Even so, his November 15th announcement of the Energy Council says he will expand all forms of energy production to grow our economy. All right, grow our economy and create good paying jobs. So again, grow the economy, right? That's good for us investors. That includes renewables, said Safak Youssel, associate professor at Georgetown University's McDonald School of Business. All right. The mandate for the Energy Council is U.S. dominance globally, but what's more American than American solar and American wind, he asked. A report from Ernst & Young last year showed that solar was the cheapest source of new built electricity in many markets. Okay. Trump, in his statement, says he wants to dramatically increase baseload power to lower electricity costs, avoid burnouts, and win the battle for AI superiority. All right. So now you're trying to win the battle for AI superiority. That means that the United States government is going to be putting a lot of investment into what type of companies. So when it comes to AI, we got to be scanning that market like a hawk to look at a lot of these companies that the government gives money to, so we could, you know what I'm saying, do what we do, right? In comments to reporters before he was named to the Energy Post, Burgum cited a similar goal, noting increased demand for electricity from artificial intelligence, commonly known as AI, and fast-growing data centers. The AI battle affects everything from defense to healthcare to education to productivity as a country, Burgum said. And yeah, I've been trying to hammer these points home about AI forever. You know what I'm saying? We'll see. Looks like somehow Trump thinks it's important, whatever. When Trump mocks the climate law as the Green New Scam, he is unlikely to repeal it, Ucell and other experts said. One reason, most of its investments and jobs are in Republican congressional districts. GOP members of Congress have urged House Speaker Mike Johnson to retain the law, which passed with only Democrat votes. So now this is one of the things that we have to continue to remind a lot of these conservatives about this. If you're so conservative, why haven't you gotten rid of the Green New Deal? Got to ask that question, right? We got to add that right up under who's holding the crowbar, right? A lot of southern states are telling Trump, we actually like renewables, Ucell said, noting that Republican-led states have added thousands of jobs in recent years in wind, solar, and battery power. If renewables make economic sense, he added, then they'll continue. Okay, I'm not mad at that. Let me know what you guys think. We have laid out quite the value chain. And I don't think that this value chain should only benefit Trump. I think that everybody should eat, but some people may feel different. If you do, leave it in the comments. If you don't, leave it in the comments. Make sure you smash that like button. Make sure you hit that bell. Make sure you share this stream to your social media. Make sure you join that Discord. Make sure that you take advantage of 50% off of the Patreon using the code BLR. And I will catch you all on the next video. All right? Peace.